Hi, hello, welcome back to another Onkruid video, welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors video, where we are still just headed straight into the 5th map, Dungeons of Despair, collecting some tin. Playing with the Elementalists today, going for a little beam build focused on negative effects. I'm not going for solely a beam build, because I haven't picked a singular focus rune today. But I am just gonna focus on applying a bunch of negative effects, as we are prone to do here on the Onkruid channel during our Soulstone Survivors runs. Also during our Diablo videos probably, but it's a bit less jumping into the eye in those videos in that game. It's a bit less important, the negative effects you apply, like the elemental effects like freezing or stuff. It's a bit less opulent. Alright, quickly glancing down, because I had not heard from my girlfriend in a while. She's out with some friends today and I was a little worried, but everything's okay. She's just in the chocolate bar having the time of her life. Lovely stuff, lovely to hear that. She was like, do you mind if I go out with the girls without you? And I was like, hell no, girl. You get yourself some of that sweet male pussy in the city center together with the fam. That's not exactly how it went down, but that's kind of like loosely what my words sounded like, I think. Either way, I'm all for people in relationships having their own lives next to the lives they have together, right? You don't always have to spend every single moment together. You can have your own friendships and you can invest in them on your own time without the other person always having to be present. It's not even like a case of, oh, I trust her to not do anything with other guys or anything. That's not even what I'm getting at all. It's just like, you have to have your own identity still, your own interaction with people still, right? Because otherwise, sooner or later, it will become like, oh, there is Vincent and Charlotte. That's how it's our names. And not like, oh, there's Vincent and there's Charlotte. Right? You will become like a singular entity. And that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. Don't really like any of these. Can't go wrong with some might though, that's for sure. Even though we're not always looking for damage. Right now in the early stages, that little damage boost at the start is definitely welcome. Magic missiles, can't go wrong with that. Some brittle, some arcane, making them more vulnerable. That's all very nice. Do we have poison already? Yes, we do. Attack speed for the lightning beam. Area effect for frontal is exactly what I am looking for. Smite is not really what I'm looking for. None of these really are. Goodbye. Well, I guess we'll go for avalanche right now, but we will definitely try to replace that in the future. There is a rogue paladin in the midst. He is among us, as some people would say, but that does sound kind of sus. We need to get rid of him as quickly as possible. Some attack speed on my arcane discs would be very nice. Just make sure that I don't get hit by his beam of light. Alright, he's dead. Awesome. Beautiful. Perfect. Great job. We have Fateful Strikes. Let's go for Spontaneous Combustion. And now we are applying more and more negative effects. I am not gonna go for the damage increase there because, again, damage is not really what we're focusing on. We are focusing on applying a whole bunch of negative effects in a quick succession. What do I want to replace? I would love to get an arcane beam instead of the avalanche, and I would also love to replace my might in the long run. I think for something that can also apply a bunch of negative effects. I think chromatic bolt is already going to be nice because it applies a whole bunch of different negative effects. I know that one of the persons in my comments, or well, the only person that comments on the Soulstone Survivors videos most of the time, told me about the power of chromatic bolt multiple times over already, so I definitely want to listen to him. Thank you very much, Mr. Watcher, by the way. I appreciate your presence here if you're still watching to this day. Always a blast when I see one of your comments appear. And that goes for everybody in here, right? Always a blast when I see any type of proof that you guys are watching my videos, like a view, a like, a comment, whatever it is. Always a pleasure. Always enjoy it. Some attack speed on the magic missiles. Never hurt nobody. We have found like the perfect curse level to play on. I feel like curse level 34. It's challenging, but never too challenging, right? It's not just a complete walk in the park where everything is meaningless, but I feel like we are never really in danger of losing all that much. I think that is the perfect balance. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Then again, maybe it's still a little bit too easy because we are never in immediate danger of really losing the run, but it's just the way that I like to play. I don't think you are all gonna enjoy seeing lost runs over and over again. We had a period in the Onkruid channel during our Soulstone Survivors arc, our Soulstone Survivors era, where we were definitely... this worth it? I think I would rather go for magnetic, where we were definitely like losing a whole lot of runs one after another. That was right out of the period I got insanely sick as well, I think. Just not a great period for the YouTube mental health back then. I was nagging every single video. It wasn't a pleasure to watch. Some might say these videos still are not a pleasure to watch, but then you have people like my buddy Krogrin, who tells me like, I don't really watch your videos, I put them on in the background while I'm doing other shit, and that's exactly what I'm going for, of course. Being half listened to, half ignored by people that are very close to me, that's exactly the type of life I want, you know? Just not mattering enough to them to hold their attention for even 1 second, that's exactly what I'm going for. Satire, of course. Second, monitor content. Content that can be on in the background, a bit of a soothing voice, maybe some interesting points, some interesting commentary, and a joke here or there, but in general just something you can have on to not feel as lonely in this damned, cursed, dark world we are living in today, where loneliness is more of like the norm. Didn't really have to pick that damage increase there, but it's a-okay. That's a lot of red things to dodge, and yet we still somehow managed to do it. I think we should get in here one more time, and it will be enough to probably get rid of at least one of the lords. Lord of Ice is not looking is looking very healthy. It's the other two that are not looking that healthy anymore. I realize by now that we have taken so many damage increases that it's actually warranted for us to continue that trend, because our spells are probably doing some damage in and of their own right about now. So it's a trend that we can continue. How have you guys been doing today? I've been doing fine. Quite a busy workday. 5 clients in total. Definitely nothing to sneeze at all. 3 at one workplace in the morning. Switched it up to my other workplace and saw 2 more clients. One of those clients was a girl that I had in an intake conversation in November. So I have not seen her for December, January, February. For a bit over 3 months, I think. So it was kind of like an intake again, you know? And then again, not really. We already talked about some stuff that was interesting to talk about, and I think helpful for her, about her identity and about how school and performing well at school was like the basis of her identity for so long, that now that it doesn't work out like that anymore and she is not the most academically gifted person anymore, cognitive dissonance arises, because the beliefs she has about herself and who she is as a person, somebody who is good in school, good in schoolwork, good in intelligence portrayals, or showing her intelligence off throughout, or through rather getting good grades in an academic context, no longer the case, not who she is anymore. And therefore there was a lot of, because she was not able to study because of the fear of failure, and therefore there is a lot of cognitive dissonance, in the sense that there is a lot of discomfort because her behavior, not studying and not getting good results, is not in line with what she expects from herself, or what her beliefs are about herself, that she is a good student that always gets straight A's, you know, because that's what she's used to back from high school days. In university it's not that easy though. I mean, of course, for me personally, university was the easiest endeavor I ever embarked upon. I did that with 2 eyes closed, 4 hands on my back, and just everything was still chill, which is not true at all. Onkruid channel viewers will know that. Fear of failure is something I have dealt with myself for a while. Imposter syndrome, all that good shit, all that good stuff that you really need to succeed in an academic career. Ask Mr. William Stoner about what you need to succeed in an academic career. Quick reference to Stoner by John Williams there, I'm still reading it. But yeah, it's kind of harrowing for me to see her like destroy herself, because that one aspect of her self-image, her academic prowess, her large intelligence and performing well at school, is a bit lacking lately, and immediately she is completely lost. She doesn't know who she is anymore. She doesn't know what she enjoys in her life, what is valuable for her, and what defines her as a person. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking for together in our next couple of sessions. Actually seeing her together with one of our interns, which also makes it interesting as hell, because I want to know his opinions on stuff, and I hope that in the future he is also feeling comfortable enough to join in on our conversation, ask some questions of his own, kind of intervene a little bit, if you will, you know, be an active participant of the conversation, do his own interventions, his own therapeutic interventions, because I always find that extremely interesting, and that is how we will learn as well, of course. Definitely should have taken the blue damage increase there, but we have been kind of not focusing on the gameplay all that much, and it shows because our revive has been popped, our first revive has been popped already, and we are quite low health in our second life here. Talking about second life, Grian, famous Minecraft YouTuber, most famous for his building techniques and for his appearances on the Hermitcraft server, Minecraft server and YouTube collaboration project, founded by Generic B, I believe, but that's been like a while, so I'm not completely sure about that information. And he has started another one of his crazy series in Minecraft together with his friends, with people like Ito in the Littlewood, some more people, Scar, Mumbo. No, I don't think Mumbo is in that series. I'm not sure actually. A lot of other people as well. And it's a very interesting series yet again. They always have this crazy concept of like a certain way of losing your lives. Losing health, losing lives, only having a limited amount of time. It's something he does to create an interesting Minecraft series, even though it's vanilla and it's 2023, because you need to do something a bit special, I think, at least if you still want to succeed as a Minecraft YouTuber, and his series ideas are always very special. Right now, what was it again? It was something to do with time. I believe you have like a certain limited amount of time to play on the server, and killing someone else gives you more time and dying makes you lose time. I think it's something like that, but I'm not completely sure. And then there's also a boogeyman mechanic. I've only watched the first episode, even though the second episode has already been out, but it proved to become an amazing series yet again. Such a fun and coherent set of individuals on the Hermitcraft server and on Grian's live series. Always just like a great match, a great mix of interesting figures that interact together in such interesting ways, because they have of course known each other for a while, so sometimes they kind of can predict what the other person is going to be up to. Alliances are always formed, enemies are always formed as well. It's just a very dynamic series in Minecraft. The Minecraft gameplay is already cool, but like the character development, the plot arcs, the story arcs in those series, that's what we're watching them for sure. And also to see what crazy builds people come up with in the limited amount of time they have in those series. All in all, Minecraft is one of those games that I play quite often still. I revert back to, because it's a timeless classic, but I also revert back to watching a lot of Minecraft sometimes. It's the same with old school RuneScape, both in terms of playing and watching. Sometimes I have these phases where I just watch like 20 different old school RuneScape series on YouTube, like Ultimate Iron Man, Group Iron Man, Collection Log, Maxed Main Accounts, whatever you want, whatever I want. Even some PvPers like Torvesta, Framed, all those people, Ditter Bitter when Deadman mode comes out. I sometimes have these periods where I watch nothing else. The only thing that I am like really watching every single video of right now is probably still Sneaky and Meteos and their rebroadcast or their collaborative broadcast of Worlds. Is it Worlds? No, it's NALCS, right? It's not even Worlds yet. I sincerely hope they will do Worlds as well, because I have just fallen in love with that type of content that they produce together completely. I've talked about that myriad times on the Onkruid channel already though, so I better divert into a different topic. What did I eat today? When my girlfriend is going out with friends to eat, I ate a nice pack of instant ramen, but I baked off, I wokheed some pak choy, bak soy, whatever you want to call it, with some soy sauce, some light spices, very enjoyable, a little bit of spring onion in there. What else was in there? Actually some prosciutto, some nice ham as a meat substance, and then also a hard boiled egg. And then the noodles, the spices included with the noodles, so more salt and pepper and stuff. A little bit of fresh coriander or cilantro, you can never go wrong with that. I always love fresh herbs in my dishes, whichever herb it is, that normally doesn't really matter for me. But here in like a noodle, an Asian dish, especially also in Mexican dishes, cilantro, coriander, definitely the way to go. Beautiful spice, one of my favorites, that's for sure. Really love the flavor of that specimen. That was an enjoyable meal that I produced on my own, whipped it up rather quickly, ate it rather quickly as well. After dinner I created a nice cup of coffee for me, which is sitting right here on my desk, which I'm gonna finish further after recording this video. And then I will probably finish, whoa, that was a lot of damage, Well, we collected 122 tin. That's exactly what we're looking for. We weren't going for a victory at all. And then later today, I will probably also finish the Stoner book right here. Because as you can see, or maybe you cannot see, you can see it over here. On this side, I'm almost done. That's the amount of pages I still need to read right there below the black cavity. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Sorry for the anticlimactic end, but we're collecting tin either way. That's all that matters. 742, 1 or 2 more runs to go. Bye-bye.